time keeping his cover up in check because he's so incompetent and demented. He can't keep his story straight. But one person that has their story very straight is Ghislaine Maxwell, who has now appealed to the United States Supreme Court on the basis that Alex Acosta gave her immunity in Florida. That was under the direction of Pam Bondi, by the way. So now the Supreme Court is going to hear this case of Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, let's not forget who Ghislaine Maxwell is. She is a convicted pedophile and accomplice. And let's hear from Virginia Roberts Gouffre, who is now deceased. Let's hear what she has to say about Ghislaine Maxwell.
She is a monster. She's worse than Epstein. She did things even worse than Epstein did. She was vicious, she was evil, and she was a woman.
Her lawyers have said Ghislaine Maxwell is not a Jeffrey Epstein, that she has been a victim of media spin.
They're doing their job, but I know that woman. I've known her really well. Put it this way. Epstein was Pinocchio and she was Geppetto. She was the guy controlling
the strings.
Jeffrey. Yep, she was pulling the strings. She had his money. He had her contacts. But Ghislaine was much more conniving and smart than Epstein ever was.
Ghislaine Maxwell rode around in a car and looked for girls in school uniforms so that Jeffrey Epstein could pay them $250 to give him a massage while naked. These are little girls in school, and Ghislaine Maxwell was the procurer of those people. And despite the fact that Donald Trump calls everyone a nasty woman, liberal scum, all these horrible names, he's done nothing but wish her well. So that tells you all you need to know about their relationship. And it also tells you Donald Trump has given Ghislaine Maxwell a free pass to go in and say, this is a hoax, because he's saying it's a hoax, because he knows what he did. He knows how deep in the Epstein files he is. And so here's what he had to say in front of other world leaders.
You have said that you've not been in the Epstein files, or your name has not appeared in the Epstein files. But doesn't the AG have to tell you if your name?
Well, I haven't been overly interested in it. You know, it's a hoax that's been built up way beyond proportion. I can say this: those files were run by the worst scum on earth. They were run by Comey. They were run by Garland. They were run by Biden and all of the people that actually ran the government, including the auto pen. Those files were run for 4 years by those people. If they had anything, I assume they would have released it. The whole thing is a hoax. They ran the files. I was running against somebody that ran the files.
Okay, so I have a few questions. There's a lot to unpack there. Epstein's a hoax? Or Epstein's real and the Democrats put his name in it. And I just want to, he says, these are the worst scum of the earth. But Ghislaine Maxwell, he wishes her well. She's a convicted pedophile. And he goes on, and I haven't been overly interested in the Epstein files. Motherfucker, that's all that has been talked about for 4 weeks. All you try to do is shut down the conversation. As incompetent and not very smart as you are, you're reptile when it comes to staying ahead and staying alive and pivoting. And you can't pivot from this. So nobody believes that you haven't looked into it. We have reports Pam Bondi told you in May, but now you go, it's a hoax. It's not real. My name's in there. My name's not in there. So which is it, Donald? This is the most incompetent cover-up. This guy is a convicted felon. He has been a fraudster all his life. $500 million judgment for fraud in the Trump war. Tax evasion, Trump University, Trump Steaks, Trump Vodka. He's grifting on crypto. He's the biggest grifter, fraudster of all time. How this could be such an incompetent cover-up is mind-blowing. Part of it, I think, is he's losing it or has lost it. But even MAGA is noticing that he continues to lie and gaslight the public.
Just going to hang around.
This is a line in the sand.
Yeah.
This one's a line in the sand.
Yeah.
Because this is one where there's a lot of stuff about when we thought Trump was going to come in and a lot of things are going to be resolved.
Yeah.
We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to figure everything out. And when you have this one hardcore line in the sand that everybody had been talking about forever, and then they're trying to gaslight you on that.
They try to gaslight you on that. Finally, Joe Rogan sees this is gaslighting. Some of the other people, like Charlie Kirk, Trump called him personally and said, quit talking about Epstein. That's why I find it so hard to believe he hasn't looked into it that much, because he's calling right-wing media influencers. But you've got Candace Owens, you've got Joe Rogan, you have Nick Fuentes, you have a ton of the right-wing echo chamber saying Trump is hiding something. This stinks to high heaven that he will not release the files. And what he did do is he sent Todd Blanche, his personal criminal attorney, down there to talk to her. Just remember, no one has more reason to lie and cover for Donald Trump and his involvement with Epstein than Ghislaine Maxwell. He is the one person that can get her out of prison. And then what I find so interesting is Trump says he dumped Jeffrey Epstein after their 15-year love affair bromance. Jeffrey Epstein, I've read reports, he dumped Trump because Trump doesn't pay his bills. Well, that's believable because we all know Trump doesn't pay his bills. But so it turns out, again, in the incompetent cover-up mode, Trump can't stick with the lie that he didn't hang out with Jeffrey Epstein anymore because of little girls. He can't keep it together. The cover-up, he can't keep it together. Here's what he said yesterday.
Right, sure, but if we threw him out of Mar-a-Lago, can you settle that? What sort of caused the breach?
That's such old history. Very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time by explaining it. But for years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that worked for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth.
Okay, this is also in the same press conference. He had never had the privilege of going to Epstein Island, but a couple things to unpack there. I threw him out for inappropriate behavior. That's a fucking layup, Trump, because he was around girls that I viewed to be too young. But here's the deal. That's not why he threw him out. That's not why he broke up with them and kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. It's because he hired employees away from Trump's country club. And here's the deal. Virginia Giuffre, who we just saw, she worked in Mar-a-Lago when Ghislaine Maxwell took her to see Jeffrey Epstein. That's where she came from, Mar-a-Lago. But I've also found something interesting. He says inappropriate behavior is that the inappropriate behavior was stealing his employees. You do not own other people. There's no slavery in this country. And he continues to say shit like this because in his mind, he owns everyone. He makes the decisions for everyone because he can't think outside of himself. But here's the thing. I cannot believe somebody who is this experienced as a criminal cannot do a better cover-up. And let's hear from Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark, about what Jeffrey Epstein told him about Trump.
Well, in the 2016 election, we were talking about the election, and Jeffrey told me that if he said what he knew about the candidates, they would have to cancel the election. That's a quote. That's exactly what he told me. He said, if I said what I knew about the candidates, they'd have to cancel the election. He didn't tell me what he knew, but that's what he said.
Okay, number one, I do believe he told him what he knew. I think he told his brother. That's me, personally. But here's the deal. In 2016, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump were running against each other. We know Hillary Clinton didn't go to Jeffrey Epstein Island. We know Bill did. So that's the rub on her. So the only thing that he could be talking about, because Hillary Clinton, no allegations that she partook in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. He knew that Trump was in it up to his eyeballs. He told his brother that. The only people that are buying this bullshit out of Trump are these crazy triple Trumpers that are now running around in Free Ghislaine t-shirts, the Pizzagate people that thought there was a pedophile ring run out of a pizza place are now the people that are pro Ghislaine Maxwell, who is a convicted pedophile. Donald Trump knows he was in it up to his eyeballs. Jeffrey Epstein's brother just told us that. This is the biggest, largest cover-up. Here's the thing. It's an incompetent cover-up, but just remember, Watergate happened because Republicans held Nixon to account. All these Republicans, Mike Johnson is closing down Congress to cover for Trump because these people are immoral, they're unethical, they are cruel, and they're full of hate and addicted to power. And Donald Trump is absolutely despicable. He's appalling. All of that's true before and after, but I just want to leave you with the most incompetent cover-up from Pam Bondi, Alex Acosta, Donald Trump, Kash Patel, all of them. This is criminal behavior, and we're getting ready to see what the Supreme Court does about it. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.